I like that effect way too much, don't I, Heather? I'll just tell you what you just had. Ooh, now I've gone quiet. I think we've got a loose knob in the studio. Giggle amongst yourselves. Right, that's better. I can hear myself now. Or maybe I was just a little bit too far away from the microphone. What did you hear? You heard Lonely Troubadour by Treebeard. Right. So, we've got Heather Paterson in the studio, and Heather's going to tell us about National Hate Crime Awareness Week. I think I got that right.
Yes, you did. So, so as you said, National Hate Crime Awareness Week. So it is taking place this week. It's a national event that actually originated from memorial events from the Soho and Brixton bombings. So it was remembering victims of hate attacks, and then it grew into an annual awareness week. So it's something that we mark every year, but this year particularly we're seeing over the past few years such huge increases in hate crimes, particularly against the LGBT community, which obviously as an LGBT charity is of huge concern to us. So we haven't seen the big increase in reports this year, which is concerning because we've seen because that's about confidence in reporting and people sort of believing will anything be done about it. But if you look at Gallup, who are the national LGBT anti-abuse charity, they've seen a 65% increase in people coming forward to access their services this year, which we think provides a sort of truer picture of what's actually happening and what we're seeing from conversations that we're having.
Heather, hang on, wait a minute. That's a massive increase. What do you think's causing this?
I think at the moment, LGBT people and trans people in particular are being used in a massive culture war. So we're seeing the messages from the government in mainstream media that is hugely obsessive over LGBT people, over trans people, and we're seeing the impact of that.
So it's kind of political, scapegoating, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we see people saying, "Oh, well, we're just voicing an opinion, we're just having a debate," but then, you know, we're at SAYiT, we're a third-party hate crime reporting centre, so we actually take reports of incidents, and we're seeing that same language, that same messaging that we're hearing from our government and in our media being used in attacks, and we can see that really direct cause and effect.
Crikey. So that's why we need it even more. So what happens this week? A lot of people doing sort of talks online and
so this week is, like I say, it's about awareness raising, it's about having those conversations. So we this week have been at SAYiT, we've been visiting different groups. We were at Sheffield Mind last night, we've been down at Sheffield Voices at Disability Sheffield this morning. Obviously I'm here chatting to you all this afternoon. So this week we're sort of focusing on having those conversations and putting it on people's agenda. We've also, last month we held a conference on responding to anti-LGBT hate, where we brought 120 professionals together to discuss hate in its different forms and how we can respond to it, how we can support people, what we can do as organisations to try and reduce hate, but also to support people who do experience it. And we've also been running, and we're currently running a programme with our young people on managing the mental health impacts of hate, because when we talk about hate crime, people often focus on the criminal aspect of it, but actually it has a massive impact on people's mental health, being experiencing that, and not just the sort of bigger attacks, but that, like say, that constant messaging and that sort of demonisation and having that sort of being constantly drip fed. We can see that really impacts people of seeing that. So there might not be something that crosses a threshold individually that someone sees as, oh, this is a serious offence that I need to report, but they're seeing and hearing those messages every single day, and it's really impacting their mental health. So how do they manage that? So so we're doing lots of work around that, because it's a really big issue that people are facing at the moment, unfortunately.
No, it sounds brilliant, and that sounds very comprehensive, because it's not just about raising awareness, it's about doing stuff as well. As you said, you've had a conference and you're going on radio and different things talking about it. and looking at the reasons why, the political climate, people have got a bit nasty.
Yeah.
Nastier than usual.
Yeah, it is. It's really nasty. And obviously, as an LGBT organisation, obviously that's our focus. But one thing I would say as well is that there's so much similarity in what we're seeing being experienced by refugees and asylum seekers as well.
Sure.
And we're seeing really common experiences with that. And obviously, they're not two distinct groups. Obviously, there are LGBT refugees and asylum seekers and refugees and asylum seekers who are LGBT, so they're overlapping communities, but we are seeing very much when we talk to the refugee and asylum groups, we're seeing very common experiences in that as the sort of two main demographics that are being sort of disproportionately targeted in the current climates.
Yeah, no, this is really helpful, and I think what I'll try and do is sort of link things up, so that when I publicise the podcast from this radio show, if you send me links and to talks and videos and things, so we can share the information a bit wider.
Yeah, no, that would be really useful, and I think that's one of the main points this week is to have people to have those conversations and look at like how can we address it. But one of the first steps to address it is talking about it. So
acknowledging it's there
that today. Yes,
yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Right, I'm going to play a track and then let Heather have a rest for 2 minutes, and then I'll ask her another fiendishly hard question, because I think next month. I was going to have guests in for November, but then I realised I'm doing another end of year chart, and it's 9 weeks long now. It's my festive 33 end of year chart. This year has 99 tracks, and it's going to take me 9 weeks to do. So anything that we're going to advertise in November, we're actually going to do it now. So after the break, I'll ask Heather about Trans Day of Remembrance. I'll even get the words in the right order. Right, see you in a bit.